Today we are doing
some things.
Today we are doing an Alexis and Nevaeh chit chat video. I actually can't believe we're actually coming out with another episode. It's been like months since our last one. Sorry about that, but now we have a ton of stuff that's happened in these past few months that we can talk about with this chit chat, and hopefully you guys can relate to some of these.
Oh God.
So the first topic that we're going to talk about today is the most obvious, which is crushes slash people we like slash boyfriends, whatever it may be. We're here to talk about it today. So let's begin, I guess.
You start.
Great. How about you start?
I don't know what it is, but I got that feeling. Waking up in this bed next to you, swear the room, yeah, got no ceiling. If we lay at the day, just best.
First of all, I have a crush in school, and then I'm not texting. Really a crush?
So get into this crush. What's his name? How'd you meet him?
Basically, I have this crush in school, I would say.
So currently you have one?
Yes.
You're here to hear first, people. She likes someone.
Oof! Oof! Okay, so I'm just going to explain how we met in the first place.
All the details.
So it was a long time ago when we met. We've probably known each other for about 2 years now. So it was probably his first day of school. It was like my 5th week of school. He came
Interesting.
Yeah, he came in past the date and stuff because he was new to our state. So basically, how I met him is on the first day of school, like, people wouldn't really talk to him at all, except he had like friends from like his old school and stuff. I don't know how, but okay, good for you. Basically, how we met is he sat next to me. Oh!
Ooh.
And I was like, hi, how are you? Like, blah blah blah. We had a little conversation about things and like stuff like that and stuff. And then probably about 2 weeks later, that's when I actually felt my mind, like, you need to tell him you like him, blah blah blah, like all that stuff. So that day when I was thinking about it, I was like, please come here. Yes, his name is. So I was like, I need to tell you something that's very important. He's like, I need to tell you something too. So basically what I told him, I was like, I know I should have told you this when, like, maybe the second day of school when you came here, but I like you. He's like, I have something to tell you too. And then that's when he actually explained to me of what he was trying to tell me. He just want to say it because he was kind of like, oh my God, like, wow. He was like shocked.
Oh my God.
And then he was like, well, details, I don't really know how to explain this, but I like you too. I'm like, okay, like, that's cool, I guess. And then that's when we actually started like talking to each other more. And then...
So no, she doesn't have a boyfriend. They're just like talking to each other.
Yeah, we're best friends. So then, probably about a year later, I am not really liking him anymore, but I have a separate crush. And yes, so basically what happened is my friend dared me to do this dumb thing that I was not gonna do. So at lunch, we were at lunch in the cafeteria, and like we sat at the table and stuff. My friend Nate, he's my best friend in school, kind of my like 5th best friend, I would say, but he's a boy, and we like always tell like our deepest secrets of like how our life is going and stuff, and like what has happened. I don't know why, but
You do.
So basically, he dared me to hug him, and I've hugged him before, obviously many times, but like not like that. But
What? Okay.
I don't know how to explain this story. I would say. But I told him I'm not doing it, and he's like, if you don't do it, I'm gonna tell him that you like him. And then he's like, blah 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 blah. I'm gonna tell him this, blah blah blah. I'm like, that's not even true. So I don't know why you're saying that. And then they went into his classroom, and they got him, and they told him what was going on. And I went into there. I was not doing it. I just looked at him, and I shook my head no. And he was like devastated. He literally looked in my eyes like he was my body. He was like, for like a whole straight minute. And I turned around, I just started talking to my friends and stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then, all of a sudden, he walks out of the room, and my friend Carter, he looks behind, and he shook his head. And later I know, he told the teacher that what was trying to happen. So, my teacher, but she was like, Nevaeh, come here real quick. And I was like, okay. So I went over there. I didn't get in trouble. My other two friends did that did it. So I'm happy. She was like, did this happen? I was like, yes, but I told my friends I didn't want to do it. And then they started telling me these things, like, and I said, I don't care. I still don't want to do it. And then that's when she was like, okay, you can go, like, go do whatever, like what you were doing. And so I said, okay. And then she called the other two boys that did it to me. And, ooh, dang, they got in trouble. I feel bad for them, though. But I don't care, because they shouldn't be telling me to do things I don't want to do.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay. So, this is quite a story.
Oh, God. Okay.
Alright, so I'm going to start from the beginning of how this happened. It was in January. It was the last time she spent the night. She came over, and funny story of how this happened. There was this woman at the laundromat. Like, we went to the laundromat, and there was this woman, and she was, like, pregnant or whatever. And she helped our grandmother, like, do her laundry.
She didn't know how to.
Because she didn't know how to work it or whatever.
I know some
and
but we've like never.
Yeah, we've never been there, so it was difficult. So our grandmother wanted to repay her and like get her something. So she got her. She said she would get her a drink from the Wawa. So
oh my God, here we go.
We went over to the Wawa, and we go over to the area where they make like the milkshakes and stuff. And there's this like kid there, and he's like making the milkshakes or whatever, and he was like, we've never seen him before. I've never seen him before, so it had to be like around the time he first started there, and I'd never seen him. He didn't have a name tag on, so we didn't know his name or anything. But we decided. Nevaeh, she kept talking about how his eyes were so pretty. I was telling her that too, but like she's so loud, and he's right here and we're right here. So I'm pretty sure he heard us. I don't know, but he kept staring at us.
Actually, really.
So what happened after that was I didn't think much of it, and we didn't really think much of it after that happened. And then me and my our grandmother started going into Wawa. And we went in one day, and he was working the cash register. He was working the cash register, and he had a name tag on this time. And I found out his name was. So we went in there, and we're like, okay, we want to go in there again eventually and kind of like see him again. Every time we would go in there, he would not be there. We're like, where is he? So eventually one night, we go in there, and he's actually there. This is where it gets interesting, okay?
Okay.
Oh, gosh. Okay, we go in there. We have a little chat with him, me and our grandmother, and we leave, and we ended up, she forgot gas, so we had to go back down there. Not even an hour later, we went back down to the Wawa, and she goes in by herself this time, and she goes up to the counter, and she goes, sorry, I forgot gas, but do you remember the girl, the blonde girl that was in here with me earlier? And he goes, yeah. And she goes, well, that's my granddaughter, and she thinks you're cute. And she said his face turned 3 shades of red, and he started smiling.
Like, this red. Hold up, I'll show you. Like a red pepper. Like, I'm not lying.
And she said that he started smiling and everything, and then there was, like, this guy behind that. There was this guy behind her that was, like, saying stuff about it and talking about, like, us exchanging phone numbers and stuff like that. And then she goes, well, a guy like you probably has a girlfriend, right? And he goes, no, I don't have a girlfriend. So she comes back out and she tells me, and I was like, oh my God. And he had actually told me that he was 16. So I was like, yes, he's not 18. I thought she had to be 18 to work there at least, but no, he's 16. It was perfect. So that same night, we go down, and I go home and I find him in my yearbook because we went to the same school because I was like, he looks familiar. And I found him in the yearbook and I find his last name. So I was like, okay, so let me see if he has Instagram. So I look him up on Instagram and he pulls up and I click it and I was like, I was debating if I should follow him or not.
Then that's when she actually texted me.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. So I follow him, and not even 5 minutes later, I get a request back.
Ooh.
He follows me back, and I was like, I was so happy. I was like, great, he followed me back. So
She was really happy though.
yeah.
She was
And
like,
then after
shocked.
that,
Sister.
after a few days, I got brave enough, and I was like, I'm just gonna text him. I'm gonna do it. So we started texting each other, and we're still doing it to this day. There's different things going on, and like all that. He kind of knows I like him because my friend told him and stuff like that. And we're talking. I don't know what's gonna happen. I really like him. I don't know what's gonna happen, but
I'm just like sitting here. I will never have my first kiss.
yeah, right.
When I'm in high school, I
You
will.
can't tell me that if Corbin didn't come up to you and said, Nevaeh, kiss me, you wouldn't do it.
Oh yeah, I would do that.
Okay, then.
Be quiet! Come here, astronaut. NASA.
Might have to tell you something. I like me better when I'm with you.
Okay, next topic is school.
Ah!
Anything going on in school right now?
Yes. I feel bad for myself. So, we had this one test. If you guys do not know, I hate paper and pencil tests. It's just a thing about me. I have to do an online test on a computer because I have my own assigned computer in school. And so, we were doing a test. She was really rude to me, and she was like, okay, we're just going to take a little break from the laptops and stuff. She's like, we're going to do paper and pencil tests. I told her, I do not like paper and pencil tests. She's like, okay,
You need to,
you're fine.
slow down.
So it's like, well, if you want, you could do the test another day. I'm like, no, I'm fine. I don't want to be behind on anything. She's like, okay, well, then you're going to have to do paper and pencil. I'm like, perfectly fine. So the next day I know the test is in one of my cubby holes that we have. We have like this thing, and you have like your own number and stuff that we go in. And I look at the test, and my face was shocked. I was so mad at myself at the score I got. I don't even want to say it. So I looked at my test. No, I always get straight A's and B's in my school. But I just look at this paper and the grade. I told her I absolutely hated and I'm so sorry I got this grade because she knows how good of I'm like a star student in her class. She knows how good of a student is. She's like, I know you could have done better. I should have just let you do it on the computer. I'm like, I know, but it's perfectly fine because you're the teacher and like you're telling me the rules. So then she was like, you could have done better, but you didn't. She was like, you read through the directions correctly. It's just you didn't know how to explain it, kind of, because it was a practice park. So we are doing park now. And I've gotten like probably A's and B's. I've gotten 1 C in park. That's only because it was a practice test, so obviously. But I look at the paper and I'm like, sister shook. I'm not even lying. I was sister shook. So the grade I got was a D. I was so mad at myself. It was a 67%, now 1 D. It's not even that bad. I actually pay attention more when we're on laptops. I don't know how, but I feel like it just makes my eye like catch up actually what we're reading. Ow, like that's bad. But that's something that happened.
For me, I mean, like, even though I'm doing online school, it's still difficult. Like,
Have you gotten any bad grades?
world history is what really gets me, because, like, as you get, like, into high school and, like, stuff like that,
Just in high school.
and all of that, it gets harder. And for people that might watch this video and say it doesn't, well, for me, it does, and for many people, it does. So, basically, I've been getting good grades. Like I said, same with me getting, like, I've always gotten good grades. So, like, doing online school, it's a lot harder to make sure you keep those grades up because there's, like, so many different things that, like, you can get behind on very easily. and I've been behind because of like the concert the other week and stuff like that, but I finally got it like called up and everything. But it's very hard that like once you get behind, like catching up is really hard. And then like when there's like projects, like you can have 5 projects in like one day and like all be due like in a few days. So it's very difficult, but I ended up getting through it. But for any of you doing online school and you know what I'm talking about, well then
got no ceiling. If we lay the day just pass us by, might get to too much talking. I might have to tell you something. I like me better when I'm with you.
Next topic is friends. Do you have any friend stories?
Holy Jesus, yes I do. I don't like this. Ow!
A nice one.
I don't
She
like this
tripped over
story.
this box.
I do not like the story. So, I used to have a really good friend. It actually kind of makes me really upset. I used to have a really good friend, and her name was Ella Tagliaferri. And she was like my best friend, but I felt really bad for her because a lot of people used to always make fun of her for no reason. It was only because she was shorter than everyone, because she had problems when she was a little kid, right? Yeah, she had problems when she was a baby. So people used to always make fun of her, and I'm like, just leave her alone. Like, would you be happy if somebody made fun of you? So she was getting bullied this one day, and I actually stood up for her. I'm like, leave her alone. Just because she doesn't look like all of us, even though we're older than her, it does not matter. Well, we're all the same age and stuff. I'm the oldest one out of my all grades. But she like was really upset, and she started crying and stuff. I talked, and she was like, thank you so much, like, I'm so glad you did that, but it made me really upset that people were actually picking on her for no reason and stuff. And then we figured out it was the last day of school, and she said that she was moving away. So that's what really, like, shocked me. So, like, that whole last day of school, she literally would not leave me alone, which I was happy because that was the last time we were going to see each other. And then it came to that time when it was dismissal, and I was literally like crying in tears. I was like really upset that she was gonna be leaving because I like. So you know how like a friend, like your best friend ever in the whole world, and then you just like realize that they're moving away on the last day of school. That's when they actually start telling you of what happened. And it just made me really upset because I remember on the first day, on like 3rd grade or something, I missed her. I was like so sad still. Probably, she used to be one of my best friends, but now I can't see her anymore, but I still love her no matter what happens. But I just don't understand why people, what comes to the right mind to pick on somebody that's not even in your grade, and like she's shorter than kindergartners. It does not matter. Like I don't understand, but people who bully people, all they're doing is they're jealous of another person, either because they're smarter or they have more friends. And I think all those people were trying to do that were bullying her was try to get more friends and act like they're so cool. Still remember that day, but it makes me upset that like she's gone and I cannot see her anymore.
Yeah.
So that's that story.
For me, this happened a while ago, so like nothing recent or anything. But I had this friend that I was like really, really close to, like more than any of my friends. I was more close to her, and we only knew each other for about a year. But it was around 2015 when we met each other. It was like a few months after my mom passed, and like I met her, and she like became my instant best friend along with her like little brother Sean. Her name was Shaylee, and like we were like super close, and like my dad was like really close with her mom and stuff, so we would constantly hang out, and over the summer we would hang out like every single day. She ended up moving away a little while after my birthday.
I hate when people leave on their birthday. I just don't like it.
So it was like the same year, I'm pretty sure it was like around 2015 she left. She spent like a week or two at my house when my birthday came around, and then she ended up like things I'm not gonna really get into, but things happened and her brother had to move away with their aunt and uncle. So I haven't talked to her in a few years, and it sucks because she was like one of my closest friends and I can't talk to her anymore. But yeah.
So
If you guys have related to any of these stories, comment them down below. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up.
subscribe down below and hear post notifications with any of our videos.
And when you subscribe, you'll be joining our
Pineapple Squad.
Bye, guys.
Bye.